get a mic to you. Start with Ben.
Coach, Aaron Beasley seems like he was progressing well the first half of the season and then has maybe struggled the last couple of games. Would you agree with that assessment, and how would you kind of describe his season to this point?
I wouldn't agree that he struggled. I thought he didn't play up to standard in the Alabama game. Thought he probably lost a little confidence in himself. He missed some tackles, we all expected him to make. And then he had the big miss in that first series, obviously versus UK. But if you go back and watch the game, he led us in tackles, and he actually did a good job. Obviously, the quarterback jumping over him, super athletic play. But if you go back and watch the, coach's tape, he made a lot of tackles and fit the run pretty well, after that first, quarter struggle.
Eric and Jimmy.
I know it's a week-by-week process, but how's the depth behind those front three guys, with the Mohan and Garland and Willis?
They're progressing. We want to always keep those guys, obviously attentive, and we're giving them a ton of reps, and we just want to still make sure we put the guys in that are going to give us the best opportunity to win. Like we talked about earlier, I think those guys are, when we talk about those guys, the Willises, Aaron Willis, William Mohan, and Pat Garland, I think they all have a chance to be outstanding players. Obviously, we'd like to speed up the clock to get them there, now, but they're progressing. I think they're nearing, that point where you would feel comfortable putting them in the game, but, probably just not there yet. They're doing an outstanding job on special teams, and you can see them maturing there, and they're getting better. But, they probably still have a little ways to go where we would feel like we could put them in there and they could give us the best chance to win.
In a normal circumstance, how many linebackers would you want to have in that rotation?
We started off with 4 early this year, and, obviously I thought, those guys played, lights out. These last couple games, really the last 3, the linebackers that played, they probably been on the field too much. They're up there in the, 80s, high 70 play count, and that's probably too much for them, for the way we want them to play. So obviously the depth comes out, in the fourth quarter and some of those second halves. But some of it's self-inflicted. We got to get off the field on third downs, to limit that play count.
Coach, you kind of answered my question. I was going to ask you. Rodney Garner said there were 103 gradable plays.
Yes, sir.
Against Kentucky, and I just wonder, because of your lack of depth, has that taken a greater toll on your linebackers?
Yeah, it has. But I also say, like I said, it's self-inflicted. If we're getting off the field on third down, we have an opportunity to limit some of those plays. But we also know, our offense, they're a fast strike offense, and obviously you guys watched the game. There was a couple plays, the first play of the game was a touchdown. So, we're going to be on the field. And then obviously when you score on defense, that takes a possession away from your offense, and you have to go back and get another possession on defense, which we don't mind. We'll always take the points. And, those are times where you wish you had a little bit more depth. But the guys are battling through. They're all, obviously have minor injuries, nicks and bruises, but they're battling through it and giving us everything that they have.
Adam and Brent.
Y'all's forte obviously is tackles for loss.
Yes.
Georgia doesn't allow hardly any tackles for
Yes.
loss. Is that just personnel? Is that just a really good offensive line? Is that scheme? Why are they so good at that?
Just from watching the tape, they have obviously the personnel, is outstanding. Their running backs are probably another group that's probably one of the best in the conference. A lot of guys, a lot of their guys that they have, when they make contact in the backfield, they're always able to extend or at least get it to a 0-yard gain where they're not getting the tackles for loss. And then you have to give the quarterbacks credit. 1, checking out of plays, and 2, not taking sacks. Obviously the Bennett kid is pretty athletic. He gets out of the pocket and does some, good things with his feet. And even the Daniels kid does a good job of, kind of getting them out of bad situations and checking the plays where they get positive yards.
Coach, 2 things. One, what is your linebackers? What do they have to do better on third down? And two, it didn't look like you tackled overall as well as the defense against Kentucky. Is that Kentucky? Was that the bye week? Was that late in the season? What do you attribute that to?
It can be a lot of things, but we're not going to make any excuses. We have to tackle better. They gave us a couple new formations, and they were sending receivers and tight ends from out in the perimeter to come in and crack some of our interior guys, and we have to be able to adjust to that and do a better job. And I think in the beginning when you watched it, we didn't do a good job of probably matching their physicality. I thought we did that as the game went on. Some of those runs that you saw in the first quarter from those running backs you didn't see in the second half. I thought we did a really good job of matching their intensity and then passing their intensity, as far as the run game. And then we just, have to do a better job of tackling in space as a team. As like you said, that's the name of the game nowadays with football. People are going to try to get you in space and, put their good athletes in space and see if you can make tackles. And we didn't do a great job of that on all three levels, and that's something we've been working on this week.
And third down play for your linebackers, what do you need more out of that group?
Just understanding down and distances, and everybody has their third down packages that they're going to run to get first down. So it's always being stick aware, understanding how deep their drops need to be, and understanding pass protections. As we want to pressure on third down, we have to be able to beat one-on-one blocks. Even when we pressure, if we pressure with 5 and they're blocking with 5, we have a couple guys in one-on-one situations. We have to start winning those situations.
Patrick and Wes.
Coach, kind of following up on the third down stuff, as you guys seem to, I don't want to say play a lot of zone, but your linebackers do seem to play a lot of zone. What do you guys need to do? What makes a good zone defender as a linebacker? Where can you guys maybe get better?
It's not to cut you off. It's spatial awareness. If you're playing zone defense, obviously it's no different than playing zone defense in basketball. You have to be able to follow the ball. In zone defense in football, it's the same. The ball is in the quarterback's hands. You have to be able to work within the framework of the defense, understanding how the offense is trying to attack you. And if we are in a 4 under 3 deep zone coverage and they get 5 guys out, obviously they have an advantage. So we have to do a great job of tracking the quarterback and being able to break on the ball when it's thrown.
Brian, what does it sort of say about your defense that getting on the field for 100 plays, it's been talked a lot about the depth and how much of a problem that's caused, but with the game on the line, even after that sort of deflating 4th and 24, they go out there and they get 4 consecutive stops to end the game?
I think it says it's the culture of our program. It's kind of what Coach Heupel is building, and I've been doing this for a long time. And I've been on the wrong end of those games a lot of times. I think it speaks to the character of our team and, the players believing in, what Coach Heupel and what the staff is preaching. Because, after that 4th down, I'm not sure many people watching it thought that the Ovals were going to win that game after giving up that long 4th down. And the kids battled back. They never panicked. We called a couple pressures, and they ran them like it was the first play of the game. They found the energy and the will to go and run them, and we got some pressure on Levis, and that was the difference of the game. So, like I said, I've been doing this for a long time, and I've been on the wrong side of that, after you give up a big play like that. So I give them all the credit in the world.
Eric?
Yeah, kind of on that again. Overall, how would you assess your linebackers blitzing? And is that something we can maybe expect to see more of the last few games?
If you ask them, we used to blitz every play, but we want to do a better job of not showing blitzes. We did that versus UK, so we have to do a better job of playing within the system. And I always say you never want to over disguise where it takes away from your ability to get your job done, but you also don't want to tell the whole stadium you're blitzing as soon as they, line up in the formation. So we want to be multiple in how we blitz, but when we do, we have to be more effective. It's not going to always be a wide open run through. We're going to have to defeat an O-lineman, a tight end, or a tailback that's trying to block us. So we have to do a better job technique-wise in winning those one-on-one matchups.
Coach, it's time for one more, Patrick.
Coach, going back to those 4 plays at Kentucky at the end of the game, you guys, I think, brought 5 and 6 on each of those plays, and the pressure seemed to really help. Was that Coach Banks being like, all right, I don't want to sit back, and how much risk is involved when you kind of you play man and hope they don't get you, hope you don't get beat deep, and how big was that to do that as defense?
I think it worked both ways. After giving up that 4th down, you had 1 or 2 ways that you can go, and I think our kids, that was kind of the energy boost that they needed. We told them we're going to come after them. We're not going to sit back and let Levis sit in the pocket and be able to feel comfortable in the pocket. And we had the confidence that we could cover and pressure, and they had the confidence in the calls to go out there and execute it. So I think after that play, we had the timeout. When we got together, we all were on the same page. The kids knew we had the confidence in them to go pressure, and obviously they had the confidence that when we called it, that they'd be able to execute it.
Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank you.